and what went wrong. Breaking down each game so strong. Fans united, feel the beat. Fans talk family, can't be beat. Fins up, we ride until the end with Bobby talking about the Fins. Podcast popping every week, no delay. Join the crew, Fins talk today. Fins up, we ride until the end with Bobby talking about the Fins. Podcast popping every week, no delay. Join the crew, Fins talk today. Join the crew, Fins talk today.
Miami Dolphin fans, breaking news. I got the call from Fitzstanza. I just got out, had an MRI on my shoulder, was about to start heading my way to work. Evan called me. Bobby, go to Twitter. Check Twitter. Breaking news, Adam Schefter. The Miami Dolphins and Chris Grier have mutually decided to part ways. That is right. You're hearing it right. Chris Grier out as GM of the Miami Dolphins. Forgive me for the steering wheel. I'm here in the car. I'm outside the doctor's office. I had to go live. Look, I know some people might say, man, McDaniel should be fired too. This is just the beginning. They could have fired McDaniel, kept Grier, and it would have been just as a messy situation. This is the best case scenario. We will have a new general manager. No more Chris Grier with the binoculars. No more of that. It's finally done. It's what Miami should have done years ago. I'm not sure. I don't want to celebrate a guy losing a job. You never want a guy to lose his job, whatever, but they mutually agree to part ways because they were aimlessly directing. They had nowhere to go. I see the comments here. Shout out to everybody just joining me. Impromptu show from my car before I was supposed to drive to work. Happy Halloween. Happy Halloween. More like Christmas, if you tell me. Evan would be on with me right now, but he has a work call because, he actually was at work. I'm coming out of the doctor's office, but he will be on, if not later, on here. But he'll have a show later on with some people to discuss it. Brett Lagasse's texted me. Justin Rhodes, great to see you. Damien. So right now, let's see, Jamaica, what is up? They have an interim GM, and Evan told me, and I can't remember right now. I don't want to get it wrong. So you guys do me a favor. As I'm here on my phone, I don't see on Twitter what is the direct news. I just had to jump on. That's how fast I reacted. This is great. The trade deadline's a week away. Not a week away. Isn't it days away right now? Thank you, Justin. So Schefter is saying that McDaniel is head coach for the rest of the season, at least. At least. So what will happen now is that if that's the situation, if Miami has decided the change they're going to make is let go of Chris Grier and to keep McDaniel until the end of the season, it could be exactly what we discussed on last night's post-game show where, Evan was discussing that they should fire McDaniel, because it's so true. The fact, both guys need to go. That's the fact. You got to do a full clean slate. However, if you're going to say, okay, let McDaniel let's stay till this end of the season, you absolutely should close out with a new GM. You get rid of Chris Grier. You hire you get an interim GM to facilitate trades, signings, whatever. You let him manage, but then you go get your new general manager and you let your new general manager hire his coach. You hire his coach. Let's see. I think a name just popped up here. Champ Kelly. Thank you, Mom. Mom's watching, tuning in from Twitter. Appreciate you. Champ Kelly's our new interim GM for right now. Now, again, my mindset is they should let go of McDaniel. However, like we talked last night, you get a new GM. Sammy said it too in the comments last night. You let that new GM talk to Coach McDaniel, see if they jive. Say, hey, man, do you think this is the guy? Is Tua your guy? If he says no, McDaniel says, no, man, here's my vision. This is what I want to do. You get kumbaya. And then, he gets his guy now. Then they work together. If not, the GM goes, look, I don't think it's Tua. McDaniel's the guy. I want to go get my own coach. Fair game. Now, it's for now. Rob, Dolphins thirsty in the house. Great treat on Halloween. Absolutely. Absolutely. The treat is Chris Grier gone from Miami. The trick, McDaniel's still the head coach, but that's okay. Josh Wingate just joining in. Chris Grier mutually agrees, parting ways with the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins will have a new GM. I just say, it kind of reminds me of the Wizard of Oz when you say the Wicked Witch is dead, but of course it's the GM is gone. So very exciting news. The reason why I'm so excited, I've been calling for this for years. Most fans, majority of the fans have, and it's not that Chris Grier didn't try. He made a lot of good trades. He did this. Not good trades, but try to make some decent trades to try to help this team win. Just made the wrong decisions. And when you look at the common denominator, we got to fire McDaniel. Well, we fired head coaches before, but Chris Grier always stayed the same, and the team was always the same. Yeah, Christmas came early. I generally thought this was fake and funny message. My grandmother, happy Halloween, ding dong. There you go. Yes, Christmas came early. A new GM could be left to make those decisions. McD might be willing to step down. We'll see. We will see. And obviously, this decision, the report was, and that was from football players. I think Richard Sherman talked about it last night on postgame on Prime, that Stephen Ross left before the game was over. He was gone, which is not common for him. He usually goes to the locker room. He uses whatever. Chris McDaniel in today's press conference, I didn't see it. I was reading it before I went to the MRI. Said that when he wasn't really any kind of much discussion about what was happening or what his conversation with Stephen Ross was. It was more like, has Ross changed his tone? But he said no. So it probably wasn't a very good conversation. Adam Schefter reportedly, according to the comments, is saying McDaniel was expected to remain till the end of the season. Probably because Ross wants it where the new GM decides his fate. Give him the opportunity to see what he can do with it, and see. However, if Miami gets blown out by Buffalo, if Miami gets blown out or beaten in Spain, I wouldn't put it past that Stephen Ross says, let's just go ahead and get rid of McDaniel and let the new GM go from there. We'll see. Let me see. I don't want to miss anybody here. One problem gone. Too bad Tua's got. Yes. Can't move him yet. Tua, as of right now, is going to stay. That was another discussion. Give me Louis Riddick. But huge news. I couldn't not go live. Because I want to be able to react and discuss with you guys. I hate that Evan's working. He has a call. I love that some of you guys have joined me impromptu to discuss this. If you're just joining or you're just finding out, I'm instant reacting here. I don't have all the information. I just had to go live. I'm here at the doctor's office. Stephen Ross, Miami Dolphins, Stephen Ross, and Chris Grier. Chris Grier with the Dolphins for 2 decades, 20 plus years, mutually agrees to part ways. Chris Grier is no longer the general manager of the Miami Dolphins. You wanted change. For Dolphin fans that wanted change, you got some major change today. This is big news for the Dolphins and the Dolphins fan base. We will have a new guy with a vision, with a new vision for the Miami Dolphins. Now the thing we have to hope for is that Stephen Ross hires the right guy, or hires a guy. First off, what type of GM do we need? What type of GM do we want? I know Louis Riddick is a popular name. Here's what I want. I want a guy who comes from you want a winning organization. Abso-freaking-lutely, right? You think of the Chiefs. You think of the Steelers, the Ravens. You think of whatever name you want to throw out there. I want a guy who comes from a stable organization. I want a guy who has a track record of drafting good, impactful, consistently active, whatever talent. Not injury prone, not guys that are good for 1 year and fall off, not guys who are a bunch of busts. I want a guy who comes from an organization that knows how to draft well. That's how you win. You could sign free agents. You have all the money in the world with owners like Stephen Ross. They could pay out and, they're going to sign this guy. It's very easy to play Madden in the NFL when you're in the game. It's harder to draft. And Miami has shown that. You could sign everybody and still lose. You have to have a strong foundation. So I want a guy that comes from an organization that knows how to draft, knows when and how to sign free agents, how to keep their players. Brother, I saw you texting while I was going. Evan called me, Alex called me, and while I was getting out of the doctor's office and told me the news, brother. I just said, "Oh shoot, I'm going live. I got to talk about this because this is epic. This is great news." Just say, Chris Grier, thank you for your 20 years of service. Let's be nice about it. 20 years of service. We appreciate you. Good luck to you wherever you may go. But sayonara. Josh Wingate, Ed Dobbs, assistant GM of the that 100%. Hey, I wasn't even supposed to go live today, brother. I was supposed to take the day off, but I can't with this. We talked about it last night, Alex and Evan, about this situation. And and like I said, yes, I think both should be gone. However, if you're gonna fire one first, it should be Chris Grier. It should be Chris Grier. And I know we all had that inkling, like, well, maybe Chris Grier stays GM because the Brian Flores situation, obviously that has proven not to be true. Obviously, Chris Grier may have gotten a nice severance package. We'll see where he goes from here. Maybe he goes to the Patriots as a scout somewhere, whatever, who knows. Or he goes on TV and becomes a whatever. But the big news out of Miami, the best news we could get after a stinking, ugly loss, what we got yesterday, was Chris Grier getting fired. I can't see that statement through text message. I don't want to interrupt. But I think Stephen Ross made a statement. So if you guys see that, why don't you give me let me know in the comments exactly what he said? Because again, I'm going here empty-handed. I'm not like this. Usually I'm prepared. I have everything ready to go. Blah blah blah. Evan would probably be more prepared than me. Evan might come on with some people a little bit to react live in a second. Yeah, thank you, Lamar. Appreciate you, Lamar. Looking out for your hometown team from growing up, man. Man, if I could drive like this, I could, but I'm not going to risk it. I'm going to get going in a second here. But this is great news. Again, Ed Dobbs, Josh Wingate, throwing that name in the comments, assistant GM for the Colts. You look what the Colts have done, how they've drafted, who they drafted. Of course, they flopped a little bit on the quarterback, but again, just wrong time. We'll see what happens with Richardson. But they ended up getting Daniel Jones, recycling Daniel Jones, and look at the way he's playing. They do draft the good players. Look at their offensive line. So that's not a bad case. I'm a little iffy on Louis Riddick. He's a TV guy. I know what he's done in the past, but I don't know about those guys when they after they leave their jobs, they go to TV for a long time, they come back. It doesn't really turn out that way, but we will see. 3 up, 3 down. What's up? Good day. Good morning. Glad to see you. Power move by Ross for sure. Samuel, what's up, my brother? We'll see what happens with Mike McDaniel. Again, I'm not seeing all the extra stuff that you guys are. Again, I'm going through my phone here. So I'm just reacting. And whatever you guys are telling me, you guys are the ones telling me anything extra that's happening here. And my phone's a little small, so I got to move around. But I can't help but smile. This is great news because, again, this team needed a new direction. And it starts with the GM. You're not going to get rid of the owner. We could forget that. Let me make sure I'm not missing here. Can't get a new owner. He's not going anywhere until his daughter takes over. But we could get a new GM. And that's exactly what the Dolphins are doing. So that's huge news. Sent you a paragraph 3, Ross statement. Appreciate that, Mom. I can't see it. I'm live on the show right now, so I'll read it afterwards, but I appreciate that. I would really love, it's in the comments. Oh, okay. So let me move my phone here. Forgive me, guys. Let's go ahead and flip this for a second. And I hope you guys hear me okay. Crazy Dolphin, what's up, my man? Appreciate that, brother. Thank you so much. Ross will hire a GM likely. Exactly. Brett in the house. Per Ross. All right. Well, I don't see anything there, Ma. 3 up, 3 down. Oh, let's see. Right as of right now, listen, right? Look, Anthony, shout out to you, brother. Appreciate you jumping in. Listen, as of right now, from my understanding, just from what I'm seeing in the comments and whatever, is that McDaniel is still the head coach. More than likely, now if he loses the next 2 games handily and it's just a complete mess and he keeps blaming the players, maybe that move happens. However, more than likely, he will remain the head coach of the Dolphins until the end of the season, and Ross allows the new general manager to hire or decide to fire Mike McDaniel, hire a new coach. Give me a moment, guys. If I fall out, I'll come back in. I just want to see. Yes, bring Mendoza back. Okay. If you guys could still hear me, forgive me. I don't want to mess this up here. Let's see if I could do this quick. You might just hear sound. Oh, here we go. All right, let's go here. If you guys hear me, great. This is from Ross. I've always been and remain committed to building a winning team that consistently competes for championships. I'm incredibly proud of our leadership as an NFL and our continued commitment to community, but our performance on the field and our team building process have not been good enough. There are no excuses. I want to thank the fans for their continued support and passion for this team. You deserve a championship caliber team you can be proud of. There's much much work ahead to return the Dolphins to sustain success, and that work begins now. Finishing the season strong, evaluating all areas of our football operation, and moving forward with a clear vision of the future. Okay. Hopefully, you guys heard me. Let me know if you heard me. That way I'll keep looking. Bobby, what K-pop do you I don't know about that, man. I don't know about that. I ain't doing none of that K-pop, man. I agree. We need the clean house. Do me a favor, guys. Do you hear me when I got off screen? I know I disappeared, but can you guys still hear my audio? Let me know. I'm going to check Twitter very quick. Give me a moment here. All right. So from Stephen Ross, this morning, I've made the decision along with General Manager Chris Grier to mutually part ways. I have incredible respect for Chris and his family. I want to thank him for his many contributions to the Miami Dolphins over the past 26 years. As I assessed the state of the team and in my discussions with Chris, it became clear to both of us that change could not wait. We must improve in 2025, 2026, and beyond. And it needs to start right now. Champ Kelly will serve as interim general manager effective immediately. And we begin our search process for a new general manager. I want to thank Champ for stepping up and his commitment to the Dolphins' success this season. There's a lot of football left to play, and we all need to fight even harder. I've always been and remain committed to building a winning team that consistently competes for championships. Okay, so which was read already. That's from Stephen Ross. No mention of Mike McDaniel. Let's go ahead. Let me go ahead through here very quick, guys. I'm seeing this as you guys as that. as you guys are seeing it. Mike McDaniel, Schefter tweeting or stating Mike McDaniel will remain Dolphins head coach for the remainder of season at least. So, again, that is, if it's status quo, I would imagine that's what that means, because it's okay if they're decent enough, he stays on, and then you let that new GM decide what happens to him at the end of the season. Or if, again, next week they get dismantled by Buffalo, no heart, no soul, no nothing, like they played yesterday, and if they go up to Spain and lose, I think you could still see a possible change there. Thank goodness what we haven't heard. Let's see here. All right. Thank you, DSG. I appreciate you, brother. Again, forgive me, guys, if I don't see the comments there. I'm here on the screen. But anyway, this is some crazy news. This is some breaking news. This is some best news that we could get. Dolphin fans deserve this. We deserve a clear direction. We don't deserve to be in the mess that we're in. And obviously Stephen Ross sees that and has put that into action. So again, it's now we get to do who could be the next GM for the Miami Dolphins. We could start playing that game now legitimately. I said I wasn't holding my breath for a change at GM because he hasn't shown that he wanted to do that, but it happened. So this is the best case scenario. I know Mike McDaniel is still the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. I know we'd like to see that change happen. But that will have to be on pause. This was a best case scenario. So Dolphin fans, let's see what happens next. Big news. Now with Champ Kelly as the interim GM, do we see that fire sale or kind of a taste of that with, Bradley Chubb, Jalen Phillips, Jalen Wright? Do we see those guys moved on? Minka Fitzpatrick. Do we see those trades happen so Miami can stockpile some draft picks? Does Champ Kelly now say, okay, now that I have this job, I want to keep this job, so what can I do to make this look enticing for Stephen Ross? Or does Champ Kelly have that assurance, like, hey, man, if you do good enough to help us entice a good GM, you can have a job here or whatever? We'll see. But this screams big changes going forward. This is already the biggest change. This was the biggest change. Because you could have fired McDaniel and kept Grier, and there would be no real change. And this is the biggest change. So this is the best case scenario. Big news, breaking news. Miami, Chris Grier done with the Dolphins, no longer the general manager. Guys, I'm going to head out. I may be back later on. May hop on with Fitzstanza for a minute. Maybe not. Maybe tonight I'll hop on after Halloween. But I appreciate you guys taking the time to join me. Put in the comments who you think should be the general manager. Go like and subscribe. And Dolphin fans, at least for today, Chris Grier gone in Miami. Fins up. Appreciate you guys, man.